let's listen to the story of one of the greatest thinkers in human history, Socrates. Stay with us till the end, and don't forget to subscribe to ToonyWorldAi for more stories like this. It was the 5th century BC. Athens, the shining heart of Greece, was famous for its art, wisdom, and democracy. In a small, ordinary home of that great city, a child was born. His name was Socrates. His father, Sophroniscus, was a humble sculptor. His mother, Phinaete, worked as a midwife, helping bring new lives into the world. They were not rich, but they were honest, hardworking, and full of dignity. From his childhood, Socrates was curious, deeply curious. He would look up at the stars and ask, "Why do they shine? What is the purpose of life?" While other children played, Socrates watched people, listened, and asked questions. As a teenager, he learned his father's craft, carving stone, shaping statues. Some said his early works once stood proudly in Athens. But soon, he realized his hands were meant not to shape stone, but to shape minds. In his youth, Socrates served as a soldier. He fought bravely in battles like Potidea, Delium, and Amphipolis. He faced blood, fear, and loss, yet he never ran away. The battlefield taught him something profound. Life is fragile, and pride is foolish. Only truth and virtue last. Back in Athens, Socrates spent his days talking with poets, scientists, and philosophers. But he soon saw something strange. Many spoke beautifully, yet understood little. They loved the sound of wisdom more than wisdom itself. So he began to question them, not to humiliate, but to awaken. What is courage? What is justice? What is happiness? When people answered, he asked even deeper questions until they realized how little they truly knew. This became known as the Socratic Method, the art of discovering truth through questions. He once said his mother helped women give birth to children, and he himself helped people give birth to ideas. Socrates lived simply. He walked barefoot, wore plain clothes, and owned almost nothing. He would go to the marketplace and say with a smile, "Look how many things I don't need." He believed that true happiness comes not from wealth, but from wisdom. But at home, life was not always peaceful. His wife, Xanthippe, was fiery and often angry, and for good reason. Socrates earned no money, cared little for the household, and spent his days teaching strangers in the streets. One evening, Xanthippe shouted in frustration, "People call you wise, but you can't even feed your family." Socrates replied calmly, "My dear, I try to teach others to seek truth. That is what brings my soul joy." She snapped back, "Joy doesn't feed our children." Socrates smiled gently. "You know, my mother helped give birth to bodies. I only wish to help give birth to minds." He loved his children deeply, not with gifts or riches, but by asking questions that made them think. Does hurting others make you a good person? Is getting everything you want the same as being happy? The neighbors mocked him. "This man is crazy," they said. "He owns nothing, yet calls himself rich." One day, after another argument, Xanthippe poured water on him in anger. Socrates stood still, dripping wet, and said with a smile, "After thunder, rain must come. That's only natural." Even though her temper was hot, Xanthippe loved him deeply. She only feared that one day his truth-telling would cost him his life. Socrates' most devoted student was Plato, who would later write down his teacher's words. Because Socrates himself never wrote anything, his wisdom survived only through his followers. One day, the oracle at Delphi declared that Socrates is the wisest man in Athens. Surprised, Socrates said, "But I know nothing." Then he understood. Perhaps he was called wise because he knew that he knew nothing. Not everyone loved Socrates. His questioning made powerful men uncomfortable. They accused him of corrupting the youth, denying the city's gods, and introducing new ones. In 399 BC, Socrates was put on trial. He stood before the court and said, "If teaching people to think is a crime, then I am guilty." The judges sentenced him to death by poison. Many believed he could escape. His friends even begged him to run. But Socrates refused. "How can I teach about justice and then break the law?" In the prison cell, silence hung heavy. Outside, Athens was quiet under a dark, heavy sky. His students sat in tears. Crito, Plato, Apollodorus, watching the man who had taught them how to live, now facing death. The guard entered with a small cup of hemlock poison. His voice trembled. "Wise man, forgive me. I must do my duty." Socrates smiled gently. "My friend, don't weep. You are only doing what's right, as I have done all my life." Apollodorus cried, "Master, please escape." Socrates replied, calm as ever, "Would I now betray my own teachings? Do not fear death. It may be nothing more than a deep, peaceful sleep, or perhaps the beginning of another journey for the soul." He lifted the cup. The room fell silent. He drank the poison slowly, peacefully. Plato later wrote, "In that moment, his face showed no fear, only peace." Socrates spoke once more. "My body grows numb, first the feet, then upwards. It is as nature intends." Then turning to his student, he said his final words, "Crito, we owe a rooster to Asclepius. Don't forget to pay the debt." He smiled faintly and was gone. His students wept, but that gentle smile remained on his face. Even in death, Socrates seemed to whisper, "Never fear truth. Live by virtue. Death is only another doorway." Socrates wrote nothing, yet his ideas lived on, through Plato, then Aristotle, and from them to the whole world. His life proved one eternal truth, that a single honest man, armed only with reason and courage, can change how humanity thinks forever.